Well, here we are in the Europa League final, the end of the season for Villarreal and Manchester United. I've just seen a little bit the training that they let us watch of Manchester United, and Harry Maguire was sitting on the bench. He watched the whole training. Then all the players went in. He still waited. He was sat on the bench, waiting until everybody left, apart from the coaches, and then he walked in. I know that in the press conference before the training, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer talked about they would wait for him until the last minute, but he didn't train today, so I don't know. I don't expect him to play. So it'll be Eric Bailly and Lindelof, with Luke Shaw, of course, in one side. Luke Shaw that finally seems to be reaching the potential that we knew he had, but that for a while he struggled to get. Many reasons for it, of course. He's the kind of player that you need to put an arm around his shoulder. I remember Pochettino told me that at Spurs he used to prepare a special drink for him to have before training, and they will sit in the in Pochettino's office for a little while, and even without saying much, or at that point Pochettino wasn't speaking great English, but it was just the fact that he felt loved and looked after. Didn't happen with Mourinho, and quite clearly it's happening now with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So you get the best of him. This is a very strong Manchester United. I don't have to discover the team to you, but it's competitive. In training you could see how there was a good atmosphere and there were jokes, but at the time where they were playing small games, or as at the end they spent some time just shooting from outside the box, shooting practice. They were serious. They look bigger than Villarreal. They look stronger than Villarreal. Quite clearly, they don't need to play good football to win tomorrow's final. On the other hand, Villarreal, they need everything to work for them to actually win this one. Like they played against Real Madrid, for instance, dominating, keeping the ball when they had to defending deep, and as a collective. And then once they display themselves and go forward, it requires synchronization, organization. It requires Pedraza on the left-hand side, the full-back, and coming through the quarry. Another player has come through the quarry. 13 players that are in the squad have come through the quarry from the lower sides of Villarreal. That is another big success. The big successes for Villarreal is to stay in the first division, to go into Europe. That's fantastic, a cherry on the cake, but to bring players through, like Jeremy Pino, for instance. Short player, but 18-year-old with a lot of quality up front. Pedraza too. Pau Torres, the centre-back. I'm about to speak to him. You will see in my YouTube channel, and I'll put clips out there as well. That I've got an interview, in-depth interview with him. It's in the media now as well, in lots of newspapers, clips of it anyway, in which he talks about his future. The way he spoke, he sees himself at Villarreal still for a bit. He's not in a rush. He's 23. There'll be time for other things. And of course, he's wanted by everyone because he's a top centre-back. Perhaps the best left-footed centre-back in La Liga. You'll see why. And I spoke to him about driving with the ball, the risk of passing from the back. Is he alerted for 90 minutes? A lot of detail of what a centre-back has to do. There's all that in the Pure Football Podcast YouTube channel. And basically you'll get to know him better. He'll be next to Albiol. Let's see if it's Mario Gaspar on the right hand side, and then Parejo. I guess it'll be Capoue next to him, and up front a lot of quality. Baca maybe, we'll see if Paco Alcácer, but certainly Gerard Moreno. Moi Gomez on the left hand side, quite possibly. Samu Chihuete, I don't think he's ready to start, and then we'll have to see how it all pans out anyway. But those are names of quality, who perhaps in many cases they are in the first final, of course. The player that takes them to another level is Gerard Moreno, who is a strange modern centre forward, somebody that actually starts on the right hand side, comes inside, is not there but arrives, he gets there, and that's what makes it difficult to defend. There is all that for Villarreal, but as I said, the main weapon is the team. to make sure that they don't concede, but also that they don't drop too deep. The temptation will be to give initiative to Manchester United, who are much more comfortable with spaces in front of them. But at the same time, Bruno Fernandes has got the quality to find a through pass, or even though Manchester United is not a team that likes to pass the ball around for long, what Villarreal cannot do is to defend in their own box. It won't work like that. At sometimes they'll pressure high, other times they will defend deep. But this is a little bit the key to this Villarreal, a balanced team that can do everything. Exceptionally, at the moment they're not doing anything, but they're good at all ways of attacking and defending down the flanks, counter-attack, finding the small pockets of space by some other midfielders. Anyway, that's what you're gonna see. And Manchester United, on the other hand, and I'm sure Unai Emery has watched 100 videos of them, they don't have a pattern, which makes it difficult to prepare against. They don't have a pattern. They just attack with venom when they have spaces. They've got quality in their players. I think that's the link to all Manchester United. It's not a team that plays one single way, plays different ways, but certainly depends on the quality of the players they've got. And well, the 5 goals of Cavani tells you what you need to know. The Cavani Pau Torres will be interesting clash, and Gerard Moreno also scored 5. Both teams have reached the final, being the best really. They hardly conceded goals, and they certainly have been superior in the knockout stages. And I saw Manchester United against Real Sociedad, against Granada as well, and it was a clear passage for Manchester United. Even Villarreal, life was a little bit harder in the second game, but the key one was the first hour, how they went 2-0 up, as they expected to do, with a lot of aggression, getting the ball. And that's the last thing I want to say, that they all repeating the same mantra. Players, managers, let me see if they're here. No, they're not here. They're just watering the pitch, and they're arriving soon. They say and all repeating the same mantra. Finals are here. Sorry, you get to the final to win, to beat the opposition, to take the cup home. And even though it's a David and Goliath kind of story, remember in 1994, I know it's a long time away, but not so long for a football club. They had a stadium of 3,000 seats. It's 25,000 now. There were 1,500 people coming to the stadium, but 900 of them for free. That was the retired people in Villarreal will get free tickets, and 100 kids also will come with free tickets. Even though I think they gave away like 4,000 tickets. I don't know, a lot of tickets away, and all they will get like 100 kids coming in. That was when they were putting the foundations. Then Fernando Roch, the billionaire local businessman, decided to make it his hobby, and with a clear vision and a modern vision, took Villarreal to the next level. Arrived in '97, the year after they got into the first division. What tends to happen in those situations, that you think you've sorted, you think you know how to get there, so make mistakes, learn from it. They went down again, and eventually, I think it was 7 years after he arrived, Villarreal got into the Champions League semi-final against Arsenal, the famous one in which Riquelme missed a penalty that could have taken eventually Villarreal to the final, maybe. In any case, they learned from the mistakes. They learned from the mistake of going down in 2012. Marco Senna was the captain then, decided to stay with the team. 1 year later, they were up in the first division. And since then, they quite clearly have put emphasis on the quarry, the young players coming through. Pau Torres, who was born in a Villarreal, local boy that went to the stadium and enjoyed seeing the cazorlas of the time and the Forlans, etc. When he was maybe not so much Forlan, certainly Cazorla. He was one of his heroes because he would go with his scarf going to the stadium, etc. That was Pau Torres as a kid, then started playing as a 7-year-old in the quarry of Villarreal, and look at him now. even though, as he tells me in the interview we've done, that it wasn't as easy as that. There were difficulties along the way, but he is a very, very promising player. As I say, I think he will probably stay for one more year. He's got a 65 million euro clause. His contract finishes in 2024. Villarreal would like to keep him and build from here, because as well as getting players through, they have signed very cleverly. They have no debts, and they brought a manager that they wanted to help the team to get into the next level with him, with Unai Emery. Javi Calleja was doing well, the manager of Villarreal, but before the season finished, and Javi Calleja and the team qualify for Europe, the decision was made that Unai Emery would be in charge. Well, Unai Emery asked at the beginning of the season, what is the target, boys, for you? What do you think it is, to his players in the first meeting that they had? And the players said, well, do you know how to get into the Europa League final? Take us there. And they were like, okay. And at the end of the meeting, we were like, wow, pressure. That's what he carries, because this is the Unai Emery Cup. It's his fifth final. Won it 3 times, lost with Arsenal once, and he's again here. Why? The secret, I think, is he knows how to take it seriously. That's the first thing. Secondly, because the whole squad feels important. If there are problems with injuries, etc., there are others that can come in and fill the gaps. And he reacts very well into what happens in the games. That's very, very important. You've got all that, and you have to have good players. But it all starts with believing that this is a competition that can bring happiness to the fans, to the club, and even though it's not all about money, it doesn't get you a lot of money if you don't get to the final, and even when you do. But it's about being able to offer something to the players as well. It's Europe, and these guys are not used to being in Europe that often. So you'll see them giving absolutely everything. It's a strong side, but perhaps what it has a little bit is it hasn't got certainly the physique. The mentality we will have to see. We don't know yet if they have the mentality to beat Manchester United, but they've got the quality as a team and individually. So I expect it'll be a very tight game, very, very tight, and there will be moments where it will be the one Manchester United or Villarreal. Perhaps quite clearly, Manchester United are the favourites, but I am looking forward to seeing it. Gdańsk, by the way, is absolutely beautiful. But I know that Poland is it's a country that has to work much, much harder for their LGBTI rights, and I know that they've been lacking in that. So I hope that if there is enough voices out there asking them to avoid or to stop some of the attacks that the community is getting, I hope that somehow stops, so at least that they realize that authorities have to help in that. I wanted to finish on that, and that's it. I hope that you watch it, I hope that you enjoy yourself, and I will be covering it all tomorrow. Bye bye.